is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Kev Capital video where we spend some time pulling back the curtain on some of the most important charts in the market and what it means for you. Before we jump into the video today, if you enjoy the content, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. And also, do not forget to check the links in the description below where you can visit patreon.com/Kev Capital and analyze, trade, and invest in markets with me on a daily basis. We now have a $7.50 per month tier where you get access to all of my daily and weekly analysis along with my full market breakdowns. And with that being said, let's jump right into it, folks. First and foremost, it feels good to be back. If you haven't noticed, I haven't been really making a lot of videos. I have been gone for about a week now. Just kind of got back a couple days ago. Been resting the body a little bit, trying to get back into the rhythm of things. If you know or not, I don't know if I mentioned it, but I was climbing Mount Washington in New Hampshire, one of the biggest mountains on the entire East Coast. Probably the most challenging mountain on the entire East Coast, and man, oh man, was it challenging. I'm in phenomenal physical condition. I train almost every day for many years now. Obviously, I have a passion for mountaineering, but boy, that mountain was tough. All rocks, massively difficult terrain, very taxing on the lower body, to say the least. But I am glad to be back. We made it to the summit. We got down safe. We are home now, and man, listen, I want to jump right into it. So let's just jump right in, and we're going to talk about what I want to talk about today, and that is C Limited, right? SE. Now, if you're in the Patreon group, you know this is one of the holdings that is in my core long-term portfolio, and I believe and have believed that out of the sector that has just been pretty much struggling more than any sector in the entire market, that being consumer discretionary, that SE would be a winner, and I wanted some consumer discretionary in my core long-term portfolio, and when I had to go looking through the fundamentals and the technicals, I determined months ago that SE was the one that I wanted to go with, and I've actually dropped a couple of names because I wanted to have SE be the core consumer discretionary name. That being said, that was a great choice because, as you could see here, we were accumulating SE down at this major support zone from a technical perspective, right? As you could see, this was a huge retest down here of this major, what used to be resistance zone, right? You break out of that resistance zone, and then we came back and retested it on the weekly time frame. This is where we were entering. We're currently up around 42 to 43% on this play, so congrats to all the premium members that are in on this play with me. We are kicking butt. They are a Singapore company, right? So this is not an American company, but which means they have access to be able to buy them on multiple exchanges. So that being said, they just dropped earnings, explosive revenue growth, EPS is improving, free cash flow yield is getting better. Annually, the fundamentals continue to look stronger, but from a technical perspective, it's aligning beautifully, right? And that's why you're seeing this move higher. If we actually go down to the daily time frame, I want to show you something that is the most important to me, right? Because one, you came down to this major support zone and held. But what do we talk about all the time in terms of trend changes? How to change a trend? This is a beautiful example of it. And this is actually why I'm making the video, because I want to teach you guys what a true trend change looks like. You're seeing it right here. Look at SE in its bull market, right? Constantly coming back to test its key moving averages and always holding them throughout its bull market, right? Multiple times you came back and tested those key moving averages, and we'll actually delete the fib for a second, and you continue to move higher. That is what a bull market looks like. That is what you experienced on SE after breaking out of its bear market. However, it then fell into a bear market, right? Where you lose your key moving averages, you go through a distribution phase with bearish divergence on the weekly time frame, then you start tapping your head over and over again on these key daily moving averages and getting rejected from them. What do we talk about, though, when a true trend change is occurring? You should see a breakout with velocity, right? You want to see a breakout back above the key daily moving averages while your 50 moving average, which is the red line, starts to get up closer to the 200. You see that velocity, and then eventually what will occur is you break out with velocity, kind of consolidate, moving averages start to curl to the upside, right? Indicating the trend is changing, but inevitably you'll end up coming back in and testing them at some point and then heading higher, okay? Usually when that golden cross starts to get close to occurring, right? You'll get a pullback into that, hold as support, and then that's when the next big move occurs, right? So this is your wave one breakout, okay? Then you get that wave 2 retest, and then the wave 3 move starts to occur, right? So that's what we're looking at right now. I think this chart is a perfect depiction of what a true trend change looks like. Now, many of you who follow me are crypto people, right? And we talk about trend changes on like Bitcoin, for example. I wanted to make this video even for you guys because this is what a trend change looks like. This is when you know you're switching from bear market to bull market. It's the earliest time frame in which we can do that. Now, you obviously want to use the 2-day time frame, the 3-day, the weekly, right? But on the earliest time frames, the daily usually gives you the first look as to a trend change, and we are seeing that with SE as they dropped earnings today, and they were really, really solid. There's a lot of growth there, and they just continue to execute, right? And this is why I love companies, right? Because you're not just worried about macroeconomic factors. You have fundamentals to back price up, right? You have fundamentals to provide the tailwinds necessary for price to appreciate. And that said, we're going to go over some of them. We'll go over more of the technicals, but I just want to jump over to the fundamentals real quick just to show you, right? This is just beautiful. This is just a snapshot on an annual basis of the key metrics that I look at when it comes to, is a company executing on these key metrics, which then will increase EPS growth, which will then help price appreciate, because over time, a company will follow its EPS growth almost 100% of the time. So first and foremost, on an annual basis, EPS growth is growing. Like, look at this, beautiful. Free cash flow growing, gross margins growing, operating incomes growing, revenue per share growing, gross profit growing, operating margins growing. Shares outstanding are growing also, and we don't like to see that. This can typically hinder EPS growth. We'll have to dive into that at the end of the year and see what's going on there. Maybe they're issuing shares as form of payment to employees. Not really sure. But sometimes companies will also issue shares as a form of raising debt, right? Raising capital so that they can expand. I probably have a feeling that's what's going on here. So no, this is standard, right? Companies want to grow, they're going to have to issue shares, right? That's normal behavior. But you're still seeing margins improve, right? You're still seeing margins improve on an annual basis. Look at the revenue, explosive growth to the upside, right? I haven't had, the quarterly hasn't updated yet here. So we're still on Q1, so I'll have to jump back to this and show you. But overall, it was a strong quarter. Investors liked it. The stock is currently up 12% on the day. And let's see, we are, 12% on the day. And really, it's just, the sky's the limit at this point, right? If the earnings continue to improve and, all the margins continue to improve with it, you're going to grow EPS, and the stock's just going to head higher and higher and higher. So what I'm looking for in the short term, right? Because many of us in the Patreon, many of us are holding this stock, and we are up really nicely. We have a solid position sizing, but I'm looking to add to it, right? Now that we've broken out of this downtrend, now that the bear market is pretty much over here, we have a lot of evidence to suggest that, backed up by earnings. I'm looking to add, okay? Now, what does adding look like? Well, what did I just show you? A trend change, right? The next time I see that back test occur, that golden cross is coming, right? So there's very likely going to be some type of rejection here, maybe even at the 786 at 137, right? That would be totally normal. You get a rejection at the 786, golden cross is incoming, then we get a pullback, right? Maybe back down to the 703 fib, which has held as support a lot here, maybe even to the 4-hour moving averages, right? That's also something to look at. Okay, 4-hour moving averages are moving up to the upside nicely. Maybe by the time we get that pullback, they're at the 703 fib. That's where I'm going to start looking to add to my position, okay? I'm already up a lot on this play, so by adding, 0.25 to 0.5% allocation increments into this play, it's not going to change my cost basis a lot, and it will be backed up by good earnings, meaning the stock should obviously end up going higher in the end, which is very good, right? That's what we want to see. This is how you DCA on the way up also, right? Many of you probably are not comfortable with doing that, but you got to get comfortable with it, right? Warren Buffett and Peter Lynch were buying their favorite stocks for years and years and years as they were going up. You got to get comfortable with the idea of DCAing up on a stock also, but not when it's green, right? We want to wait for that pullback first and then go ahead and DCA from there, right? As long as the fundamentals are there and the fundamentals are strong and the technicals support it, right? Because we look at both, there's no reason to not go ahead and do that. So already have a solid size position, gonna look to grow that. Really great win here for the team. Really, really proud of it. This is not one of those super popular plays, right? Not a lot of people are looking at SE, right? But we have been, due to the real technical factors, right? This beautiful back test of previous support, right? Major fib levels retest, but also look at these indicators, right? 2-week time frame momentum wave moving higher across the zero line. Whale money flow on the 2-week time frame skyrocketing, right? Very, very nice. Whales are buying. RSI looking really strong above the 50 level. Still has plenty of room to run. LMACD just got a 2-week cross. Beautiful. I mean, this is early signs of momentum expansion, not even above the zero level yet. And then stock RSI above the 70 level, indicating very, very strong price action. Everything is in line here, right? 2-week time frame indicators just look absolutely stellar. I'm super bullish on SE, especially after this quarter, and I remain bullish. If we look at some of the other indicators from a fundamental perspective, PEG ratio on a 5-year expected basis is around 0.85 to around 1.4 in that range. Super. That means, listen, earnings is priced in pretty cheap, right, on a 5-year expected basis. So it's not like there's overvaluation here at all. Free cash flow yield is expected to continue to get better. Debt to equity ratio is very, very good, very low, below 1.0, which is what I look for. And obviously growth, right? Revenue growth is there, up 48% quarter over quarter, a massive growth, right? So that's what you want to look for, right? You want to look for strong margins and you want to look for growth. Okay, if you get that, you're going to increase EPS and stock price is going to head higher, and then you just have to back it up by the technicals, and we have all of that. So again, super bullish on this play, really happy. In the short term, though, I will be looking for some sort of rejection at some point, and probably potentially in the 137 to 163 range, a pullback, and then I'll be adding to the position as long as there's nothing, sudden that pops up that changes the story or anything like that. So congrats to all the premium members who took this play with me. Congrats to even X subs, right? If you follow me on X, if you don't follow me, Kev Capital _TA, X subs. I let them know about the setup, right? For premium members, get access to the portfolio and the allocation sizing, all the portfolio management. Other people, other subscriptions get the access to just setups that I'm looking at that look really good so that they can make the decisions for themselves and also learn as to what I'm seeing. But that being said, yeah, I mean, this is a winner, right? This is a winner and I'm proud of it and holding long, going long. So let's see where we can go, right? Just to get back to the all-time high from current prices, 188% move, right? From our entry down here, we're looking at, like a 4x. So really, really excited about this play. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you learned something, please comment below and say, hey, Kev, thanks. Appreciate it. I'm really enjoying the way that you're explaining what you look at, right? Especially when it comes to the fundamentals, the technicals. If you want a deeper dive, if you really want to learn how to look at stocks, you want to learn how to look at cryptos, join the Patreon, folks. I'm telling you, it pays for itself. It's been around now for 1.5 years. It's paid for itself all the way through. It's the cheapest Patreon group you're going to find anywhere, and obviously produces, I believe, in my opinion, the most value, the most transparency, open portfolio to watch. You learn portfolio management, you learn technical analysis, you learn macro analysis, you learn fundamental analysis, and then you're going to be able to bundle all that together and make the best decisions to profit from. So with that being said, I hope you guys all have a nice day. Keep an eye on SE, keep it on your watch list. With that being said, I hope you all have a nice day. Peace out.